My name's Daryl Whited, and I originally heard of Josh and Jerome through my wife. They were the technology consultants for World Travel. So I was in desperate need, and they were, I knew that they were taking care of business there, so they had to have some solid background. Let me start with the biggest one first. We were hit by a tornado back in August of 2017. The boys had been maintaining the backbone of our business for about 6 years, 7 years at that time, and we had lost the building. It was a total loss. We had server rooms that were open to weather, and as anybody that's is in business today knows, without your servers, you have no business. They were able to appropriate our servers out of that building, which had been condemned, and set the servers up in their own facility. And this happened on a Sunday, and by Tuesday we were operational at a very minimal rate again. And from that point, we completely replaced all of our servers and workstations, the whole 9 yards, and they were instrumental throughout the process. They gave us the ideas that we needed. We upgraded everything at the same time, so it was a bootstrap approach to a very dire situation. To say the least, it was remarkable and a bit of a miracle that we were able to survive, but they did an outstanding job, and we owe them a big one. The experience of working with these two guys is unique. Josh and Jerome bring a very out-of-the-box approach to something that can be pretty cut and dry. But as anyone that has been responsible for an IT system knows, not everything always goes right the first time. What they do is when things don't go right, they will stick to it until it is. And they will not let go of it until it's done correctly. Their approach is, now I'm an Oklahoman. I was born and raised here, and their approach is a little bit cowboy. They seem to be able to see the end result before I did, obviously, and they were able to get there pretty rapidly. A little unorthodox at times, but it works, and I appreciate people that can think for themselves and readily admit, oh, that didn't work, let's try this, and continue to go until they complete the project. How I first brought them into the business, we had lost our IT in 2010. All of us, suffered a little bit, from 2008 through 2010, and we had lost our IT department to a large degree. My last one had left, and we were left in the breach without any IT support. And these two young men stepped in, took on a system that was, by all rights and purposes, pretty old, and they nursed it along until we got some upgrades in place and maintained it until we got an administrator back in to kind of take care of the day-to-day things. But they were our de facto tech department for years. The reason I'd recommend both of them is the level of confidence that I have in them is absolutely substantial. Let's say all the service they did prior to the tornado is enough to justify it, but what they did during that timeline when we were in dire need, and without their support and help, we would have failed. We were an import company. We had millions of dollars in transit, and we had our eyes put out completely. Without that support that was critical, we would have been out of business. So they were a key point to our staying in business and still being profitable to this day. I've since retired, but what they did allowed me to retire. So I'm extremely happy, and would talk to anyone to let them know what I think of them as not only as individuals, but as businessmen. They really know their business, and I'd be happy to pass that along to anyone.